Terence Crawford claps back at the people, says he's ducking Shawn Porter. He says he never ran, never will. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang digital mob, smash the like button. Also, shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, the Cash App, and the Patreon family. We work in ESPN Plus link is in the comment section, or actually it's in the description box. Sign up for ESPN Plus using my link. 2020 is lit. Should be good fights on there. Now, Terence Crawford, he posted this subliminal, current WBO champion. And I say subliminal because he didn't directly say Shawn Porter, but I'm kind of inferring based on his tweet and what I've heard recently. I never ducked a soul in my life. I always ran to the beef like, what up? Pow, pow, pow emoji. You should have ducked that damn contract you re-signed. Real talk. On God, even as a little kid. Watch a documentary on that. If that's the case, brother, then make the fight with Porter. You know, you ducked the competition by re-signing to Top Prank, though. You know, people are like tagging Shawn Porter. They're tagging me. You know what I'm saying? Like, we love you, brother. But if you don't make that fight with Porter, then your whole public perception is going to change. He said, except Shawn Porter, huh? And Terence Crawford responded to him. And he said, win, stupid. Shawn Porter dad said they waiting for you to call. Terence ain't never gonna make that call. See, so, you know, people are going in on Terence Crawford. Listen, you know, people aren't going to put me in the middle of some bullshit in boxing. So you got to listen to what I say and listen carefully. I really like all the welterweights. You know, I've been at private parties where Danny Garcia was there. He's a cool dude. Terence Crawford. You know, I've interviewed all these dudes for the most part. Keith Thurman. You know, I just been on the scene. My thoughts on the Shawn Porter, Terence Crawford. I keep saying it. Like, first of all, like for me, it's a little bit draining, and I feel disrespected in boxing. I feel disrespected. Listen, I feel disrespected for the simple fact that everybody right now is acting like this situation, they didn't see it coming. The whole time when I was making videos, like, I don't know if people think I just make videos for my health or just say stuff that I don't believe in and just to try to get views. I mean, I don't really know what the situation is, but all I know is I predicted this very situation that is now unfolding and unraveling before us. So I feel disrespected because people are acting brand new and surprised by the fact that Crawford has very limited options with Top Rank, and you know, these situations are coming up and these conversations about who's gonna fight Crawford, who can he fight, and you know, these different types of things. And I predicted this whole scenario. Unfortunately for Crawford, this is what the situation is. He's too good to fight basic dudes. Like, he's already beat the Ndongos, the Jeff Horns, the Benavidez, the Mean Machines, Deary Jeans. He's already beat everybody who's kind of perceived in that same type of echelon. Like, some of those dudes are better than others. Like, I think Jose Benavidez is better than Deary Jean, you know, things like that. However, they're all in the same kind of tax bracket. Like, even if you look at this is kind of funny. The guys that I just named, they're all probably in the same tax bracket of earnings. You know, Jeff Horn's probably up there because he fought Pacquiao and he's making probably some good money fighting Anthony Mundine and stuff in Australia because they don't really have many fights. But A lot of the other guys, they're probably within the same, how many $1 million purses have a lot of those opponents got? 2 million, 3 million or better, stuff like that, right? Crawford is in the position where people probably want to see him fight multimillionaires, because not just any multimillionaire, the skilled guys that are multimillionaires, because that means if they're multimillionaires out of boxing, that means that you have to just listen to what I'm saying. If they're multimillionaires through boxing, then that means they have a brand, because they don't just give out $1 million purses. So Mikey Garcia, Danny Garcia, obviously Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, Shawn Porter, Keith Thurman, all those guys have made multiple millions and done very well for themselves in boxing. That's what I think it's going to take, because it's all almost symbolic of the success you've had in the big events and the fights. Because again, to make $1 million in boxing is not just given. You have to really brand yourself. You have to have a good team. You have to have good, solid performances, etc. They don't just hand that out. Andy Ruiz just joined that club. But for the longest, when he was with Top Rank and stuff, he probably wasn't making $2 million purses, anything like that. So it's surprising that people are acting brand new about this. I made a video when Crawford first resigned to Top Rank. There were a lot of people in Ego's army that were saying, hey, I don't know how this is going to play out. Who's he going to fight? And Ego's army predicted this. I predicted this. I did several videos, So, and he's going to be this old when he fights Errol Spence, probably, because his promoter's not in a position to facilitate that, to make it happen on their watch. As far as Shawn Porter, listen, some people calling it a duck. I want to see some more. I want to see the fight. I think the biggest downside to Crawford's approach to the Shawn Porter fight is how cavalier he is. He's very nonchalant. Like, oh, I'm not worried about Shawn Porter. That's not a fight I'm even worried about. I'm not even concerned with it. I think that's what's rubbing people the wrong way, because, and you have to understand, it is understandable, especially when his side, Top Rank, people like Tim Bradley are saying, oh no, you guys are ducking. He's begging. And Tim Bradley's like doing this big rant on national TV at a Crawford fight, saying that Crawford's begging any of you guys, stop all of you being cowards and fight Terence Crawford. And then one of the PBC fighters who has a great resume, probably one of the best resumes at welterweight, Shawn Porter, who's a great fighter, always in shape, Only time he missed weight, he made it shortly after by cutting his hair. I don't know really what happened or why, but he hasn't been a habitual misser of weights. He looks in shape. You never see him blown up off season weight. Him and his dad have been in the game for years, amateur pedigree. He beat Usyk in the amateurs. Usyk's doing very well for himself. He beat Demetrius Andrade in the amateurs. He beat Edwin Rodriguez in the amateurs. And I just feel like Terence Crawford, not having the viable names on his side, he's not really in the position to really turn down anyone for any reason, because you got to consider yourself and your legacy. So it must be getting bad where fans are saying he's ducking for him to even have said, oh, I've never ducked anyone in my life, and to come out and kind of defend his honor. So it's going to get interesting. I think Shawn Porter is definitely a worthy candidate, especially right now, because Shawn Porter, don't wait for another Shawn Porter Ugas type of performance. I want to see Terence Crawford versus Shawn Porter now while it's hot, because he gave Errol Spence all he can handle, made Errol Spence, Errol Spence, this was kind of his fault too. Errol Spence had a bite down in the fight. He didn't, but Terence Crawford's the same type of fighter. Errol Spence was kind of stubborn with Shawn Porter. He had talked and said this guy's a football player and he fight like he's swimming. He kind of got under Shawn Porter's skin, so Shawn Porter fought like he normally does, and which is rough and rugged and tumble. And then Errol Spence had to make good on what he said at the press conference and the thoughts that he let out, and it just made for a fight, my fight of the year. You know, that or J-Rock versus Hurd. You know, it was just sustained action, boom, 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 for the remainder of the fight. So Terence Crawford has dog in him. He has that same demeanor. He refused to stubbornly stayed as a southpaw fighting mean machine. So him and Shawn Porter spells explosive, you know, explosive fight. Amir Khan was a big name that he fought, but Amir Khan wasn't at a point in his career where he's considered one of the top guys, especially being knocked out brutally by Canelo and Danny Garcia, and, you know, disappearing for a while, and then he ended up quitting. So I think Crawford is just in need of a big name, a big brand, and a big name. A big name attached to a big brand, I guess, is the best way to put it. So, you know, a lot of people just didn't appreciate Crawford's demeanor about just going about it and pushing Shawn Porter to the back burner. Like, I don't need that fight. I'm not even worried about it. I'm not talking about it. I'm not, you know, because Kenny Porter sounds like Kenny Porter specifically said, we want an Errol Spence rematch. If we cannot get that, then we want Shawn to fight Terence Crawford. So of course boxing fans are going to salivate at the thought of that particular fight. And, you know, especially with Terence Crawford, him having a cheerleader on the side like Tim Bradley saying, oh, he's begging, PBC or coward. And then a week later, this Shawn Porter and Kenny Porter news kind of comes out. Kenny Porter sounds serious. I mean, it's not a good look. It's not a good look because you can't have a top-ranked company man like Tim Bradley saying Crawford's begging for some work. He's begging you PBC cowards, step up, step up. And then somebody, not just anybody, it's not like Sammy Vasquez with PBC steps up, or, you know, a guy that nobody knows steps up that just happens and calls him out. This is a guy with a certified proven style and resume. He fought Berto, Broner, Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman. You know, he sparred with Pacquiao. He fought Kell Brook. I mean, he's fought names. He beat Ray Robinson, who beat Terence Crawford in the amateurs. He fought Julio Diaz twice. Eric Bonet, Paulie Malignaggi. His resume is up there. You know, Errol Spence, obviously, like I said earlier in this video. So that's why people want to see it so much. And like Tim Bradley put heat on the situation even more so, because he said, you PBC guys outside of Wilder, and I'm not calling Wilder a coward because he's fighting our guy, an ESPN guy, in February. But as far as I'm concerned, everyone else with PBC is cowards. You can't really do that and have your side doing that. And then when a feasible, realistic name like Shawn Porter comes across and Kenny Porter says, call me, you know, make the call. And then it just seems like there's no real rush or no real focus on that fight. That's what the issue is. That's why people are like, what? How's that work? You know, it don't really make sense. So that's my thoughts on it. But I knew we would come here because they don't have no one defeated. They don't have Ruslan, Provodnikov, Pacquiao left. Mike Alvarado is not really, you know, on the up and up of his career. Brandon Rios, Jesse Vargas, all them dudes left. So who can Crawford fight? He's already went through probably the best options that were in-house. So, you know, this is the predicament that he's now in. He's good. Everyone knows he's good. Who's he gonna fight? That's the question. So I would love the Shawn Porter fight. Mikey's tied up with Jesse Vargas. Errol Spence coming off the car accident. I doubt Pacquiao and Crawford would be next with two different promotional companies, and the fight didn't happen when Pacquiao was with Top Rank. So I doubt it'll happen next to close Pacquiao's. This is Pacquiao's final fight, ode to Al Heyman. So, you know, who's Crawford gonna fight? I think another good fight would be you guys. It has to be somebody like that. You know, that's what people want to see. Shawn Porter versus a brand, a name fighter, a guy who the world believes poses some type of challenge to Crawford, somebody who can rival Crawford, you know. So let me know what you guys think of the Shawn Porter situation. Is it a duck? Is it not a duck? Crawford clearly under some level of pressure, or hearing the concerns from fans at the very least, because he's commenting about it. Let me know what it is in the comment section. Like I said, I just want to see the best fights. I like all these guys. It is what it is. If you love what I'm doing, smash the like button as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.